They were twin sisters, but their personalities and destinies could not have been more different. The elder sister, Mayan, was pure, kind, and full of passion. She also had a handsome and wealthy boyfriend whom her future in-laws adored. Soon, she was about to step into marriage, marrying into a rich family and becoming the envy of many. The younger sister, Maina, however, was ambitious, competitive, and always compared herself to her sister since childhood. She longed to use her beauty and charm to win over a wealthy young man who could pave her road to success. Although her current boyfriend, a director, could barely help her in her career, things took a turn when she became pregnant before marriage. This sudden pregnancy felt like a huge stumbling block on her road to success. Wanting to protect Maina, her boyfriend canceled one of her audition opportunities so she wouldn't overexert herself during pregnancy. But Maina, obsessed with success, was furious. Seeing her boyfriend as a burden, she ruthlessly broke up with him without hesitation. When she returned home, she complained bitterly in front of her mother. Why was it that even though she and her sister were born on the same day from the same womb, their fates were so different? Her sister had always lived smoothly and now didn't even need to lift a finger to marry into wealth, while no matter how hard she tried, her own efforts felt like chasing an illusion with no future in sight. Once again, Maina grew consumed by jealousy. Why should her sister marry into luxury and never worry about money, while she, equally beautiful, ended up in such misery? But fate began to turn on that very day. Maina had something important to attend, yet after tearing through her closet she couldn't find a single outfit that would impress. In desperation, she turned her attention to her sister. She forcibly took the luxurious red dress that Mayan's fiancé had gifted her, put it on herself, and even slipped off Mayan's engagement ring, promising to return it afterward. She then drove away in the luxury car that Mayan's future father-in-law had gifted her fiancé. Mayan went along too. On the way, Mayan, out of sisterly concern, asked about Maina's love life. But to Maina, it felt like her sister was deliberately hitting her sore spots. Annoyed, she thought of how everything she wore and used at that moment belonged to her sister. Resentment filled her heart. Overcome with jealousy and rage, Maina lost control. She slammed her foot on the accelerator, venting her bitterness. As expected, tragedy struck. Their car collided with a heavy truck, the front crushed beyond recognition. Both sisters were gravely injured and rushed to the hospital, covered in blood. When their mother heard both daughters were fighting for their lives, she fainted on the spot. After the surgeries, the two sisters were bandaged head to toe like mummies, completely unrecognizable. The hospital could only rely on their clothing and belongings to confirm their identities. But fate played a cruel trick. Before the accident, the sisters had swapped clothes, and even Mayan's engagement ring was on Maina's finger. This caused the hospital to misidentify them. When the sister labeled as Mayan finally regained consciousness, she was shocked. She knew she was Maina, yet everyone around her treated her as her elder sister Mayan. When she learned that her impulsive actions had left her sister in a vegetative state, guilt and sorrow tore through her heart. But when her fiancé, mistaking her for Mayan, swore to marry her no matter what she looked like, Maina's mindset suddenly changed. That's right, Maina decided to accept fate's arrangement. She would take her sister's place, live as Mayan, and enjoy the life of wealth and luxury that should have belonged to her. After all, whether her sister would ever wake up was uncertain. Maina thought that as long as her sister remained in a coma, no one would ever discover the truth. But she never expected that her boyfriend, Rengxiu, would quickly notice something was wrong. He remembered clearly that Maina had a mole on the sole of her foot, something he had seen before by chance. And he also knew about her abortion. Only Maina had ever been pregnant. These two facts made him absolutely certain. The woman wrapped up like a mummy and claiming to be Mayan was in fact his girlfriend Maina. When Maina realized her secret had been exposed, she desperately begged Rengxiu not to reveal it. To push him away, she coldly declared that she had never truly loved him, that she had only used his status as a director to pursue her ambitions. Heartbroken, Rengxiu was devastated because he had truly loved her. Maina's cruel words cut him deeply. But Rengxiu did not expose her. Instead, his heart filled with hatred. He vowed to take revenge, to make Maina taste endless suffering, to let her know that what she was chasing was not happiness but a living hell. Soon, with the support of Zhang Ming's wealth, Maina and Mayan underwent miraculous plastic surgery. Thanks to the doctor's extraordinary skills, the disfigured Maina was surgically remade to look exactly like her elder sister Mayan, while Mayan, still unconscious, was altered to resemble Maina. From that moment on, their identities and appearances were completely switched. Since Mayan remained in a vegetative state, Mena could live peacefully under her sister's name and prepare to marry Zhang Ming. But Zhang Ming's grandmother was suspicious. When she met the Meian who was in fact Mena, her instincts told her something was off. This person did not feel like the Meian she had known. Uneasy, she wanted to cancel the wedding, which enraged Mena. She could not allow the grandmother to ruin her dream of marrying into wealth after everything she had sacrificed. Driven by desperation, she went to see her comatose sister and in a moment of madness even thought of killing her. Only when her aunt entered the room did Mena snap back to her senses. Horrified at her own impulse, she wondered if she had truly gone insane. After all, that was her own sister. Although the grandmother's intuition was strong, it could not overcome Zhang Ming's deep love for Meian. After the wedding was cancelled, Zhang Ming fell into despair, living like a walking corpse. Helpless, his grandmother eventually gave in and allowed him to marry Meian, unaware it was actually Mena. Mena even had the mole on her foot removed, convinced that now no evidence remained to expose her deception. On the eve of the wedding, she was overjoyed. Tomorrow, once the ceremony was complete, she would officially become the wealthy family's daughter-in-law. Before her lay endless money and a life of luxury. On the wedding day, she was even more excited, but to her shock, Rengxiu also appeared at the ceremony, glaring at her with eyes full of hatred. The wedding began. Mena's heart raced, her hands trembled, and tears filled her eyes as she prepared to embrace the happiness that should have belonged to her sister. Yet at that very moment, something happened that she never expected. The sister she thought would never wake up, Meian, suddenly opened her eyes. Her sister had awakened. Mena was so terrified she nearly lost control of herself. If her sister revealed her true identity, everything she had stolen would vanish instantly. Under the crushing pressure, Mena fainted on the spot. But fate twisted yet again. The sister who now looked like Mena awoke with amnesia. She had no memory of her true self and believed she really was Mena. This revelation filled Mena with overwhelming relief and gratitude, as though the heavens themselves had blessed her. Meanwhile, the only person who still knew the truth, Rengxiu, continued his quiet revenge plan. He maintained his role as Mena's boyfriend but directed his attention toward the woman who now looked like Mena but was truly Meian. Though he still loved the face before him, he could never forget that the soul inside was someone else. His heart ached for Meian, but his hatred for Mena grew even deeper, for wealth. She had committed an act so vile that it defied heaven and human conscience. Rengxiu's knowledge of the truth left Mena restless. She begged him to tell her what it would take for him to leave her alone, but Rengxiu did not want money. What he wanted was the real Mena, the woman he once loved, and for her to give him a daughter. This, of course, was impossible. Rengxiu warned her that as long as she clung to her stolen life as Meian, he would never give up tormenting her. Despite the looming threat, life as a rich man's wife gave Mena a taste of true indulgence. Money was nothing more than numbers to her now. At luxury stores she spent freely, buying whatever she fancied. If she liked an entire shop, she would purchase everything inside. But as the saying goes, mountains may change, but one's nature does not. No matter how much her outward appearance had changed, her inner soul remained the same. Even as she lived as Meian, her personality and habits betrayed her. Zhang Ming noticed this when he found a meaningful scarf he had once gifted to Meian discarded carelessly in the trash. He began to feel that the woman before him was not the same Meian from before the accident, yet he dismissed it as a possible aftereffect of her trauma. Meanwhile, the amnesiac Meian, believing herself to be Mena, grew increasingly confused. The fragments she learned of her past life horrified her. She discovered that Mena had lived a reckless, messy life, frequenting hotels and keeping questionable company with men. Wanting to learn the truth, she went to a bar to jog her memory. But their staff immediately treated her like the infamous Mena, dragging her to VIP rooms to entertain clients. Terrified, she fled. At home, she confessed to her mother that if her past life had truly been so filthy, she would rather never recover her memory. She vowed to start anew. For a kind heart will always remain kind, while an evil soul can never disguise its true nature. Rengxiu, relentless in his vengeance, appeared before Mena constantly, reminding her of who she truly was and of the cruel crime she had committed in stealing her sister's life. His torment was so unbearable that Mena felt like she was hovering at death's door every single day. Desperate, she hired thugs to beat him and warned him never to bother her again, or else she would retaliate each time. But this only revealed her lack of true ruthlessness. Had she chosen to kill him outright, her secret might have remained safe forever. Rengxiu, however, was not intimidated, only further enraged. Determined to make her suffer, he pressed forward. The next day, Mena was shocked to find both Meian and Rengxiu joining her company through Zhang Ming's arrangements. The sight horrified her, facing them daily felt like an endless nightmare. She rushed to Zhang Ming, complaining that her sister joining the company without consultation would lead to rumors of favoritism. She urged him to revoke the appointment, but Zhang Ming refused, saying he valued their abilities and as her brother-in-law it was only natural for him to give them a chance. Cornered, Meina turned to her sister directly. She painted Renxiu as useless and insisted Mei Yin break up with him. She even tried to arrange for her sister to be sent abroad, claiming that Mei Yin's dirty past would damage her own reputation as a wealthy daughter-in-law. But this only angered Mei Yin. How could Renxiu not be a good man? After all, he had stayed by her side through her amnesia and struggles. Just as she tried to leave, Meina struck her across the face, leaving her stunned. The husband suddenly discovered that his wife seemed to have become a completely different person. She used to be a simple, humble and gentle woman. But now she had turned into someone who only loved luxury brands and a glamorous lifestyle. Every day she was either shopping for luxury goods or on the way to shop for them. Just because of a difference in color, she would buy multiple versions of the same bag or clothing. Yet after bringing them home, she hardly ever wore them. Her mother-in-law was extremely dissatisfied. Even though their family was wealthy, she believed one should not recklessly flaunt extravagance in public. Otherwise, people would gossip. The husband thought his wife's sudden change after being in a car accident was due to mental stress. What he didn't know was that the woman before him wasn't his real wife at all. She was actually his sister-in-law, who had taken on her sister's face to marry into a rich family. Because of the car accident, Zhang Ming, the husband, had no reason to doubt her. One day he took Meina, the imposter sister, out for some relaxation. At first Meina was happy until Zhang Ming unexpectedly invited along his real wife Mei Yin, who now looked like the younger sister and Renxiu. Their appearance instantly destroyed Meina's mood, filling her with fear. When no one else was around, Renxiu grabbed Meina's hand angrily, mocking her. Did you think that just by hearing some thugs to beat me up I'd be too scared to reveal the truth? How naive. The only reason I haven't exposed you yet is because I want to see how long you can keep up this ridiculous charade of impersonating your sister. He warned her. If you want this secret to stay buried forever, then you'll have to kill me. Otherwise, your good days won't last much longer. After saying this, Renxiu turned to leave, but Meina really did develop murderous intent. She nearly ended up killing herself by accident, but Renxiu saved her from drowning. Meanwhile, Mei Yin, having lost her memory, gratefully thanked Renxiu for risking his life to save her. Meina realized Renxiu was right. If she didn't kill him, her secret would eventually be exposed. The next day, Renxiu was in a serious traffic accident, clearly an attempt on his life by Meina. Fortunately, he survived with only minor injuries. But before Meina could deal with him again, another problem arose. Mei Yin, though memoryless, began showing traces of her true self. Zhang Ming noticed something odd. No matter how much someone's appearance might change, their inner character couldn't be erased. Every time he was with his sister-in-law, she seemed familiar. Her preferences, personality, and mannerisms were exactly like those of his beloved wife Mei Yin. Likewise, Mei Yin felt inexplicably drawn to Zhang Ming, just like in their past romance. To get revenge on Meina's cruelty, Renxiu decided to marry Mei Yin. In his heart, he apologized to her. If she regained her memory someday, he hoped she would forgive him. Meina wanted to stop the marriage, but as she was living under her sister's identity, she was powerless. She could only endure the torment Renxiu inflicted. When Zhang Ming heard that his sister-in-law was getting married, he brought a gift. Meina saw him chatting happily with Mei Yin and felt like she was watching Zhang Ming and Mei Yin fall in love all over again. She panicked, terrified he might return to the real Mei Yin, something she could never accept. At work the next day, Meina dragged her sister to a stairwell, accusing her. Why won't you leave the country? Why insist on marrying Renxiu? Why do you have to torment me? Mei Yin was furious too. It's my life. Why do you think you can control me? In a fit of rage, Meina slapped Mei Yin and shoved her, causing her to fall unconscious on the ground. Instead of calling the police, Meina fled, secretly hoping her sister would die so she could permanently take her place. But Zhang Ming discovered the injured Mei Yin in time and rushed her to the hospital. There, something unexpected happened. The head injury triggered Mei Yin's lost memories to resurface. Scenes of her love with Zhang Ming replayed vividly in her mind. When she awoke, she was shocked to see her own face staring back at her, Meina posing as her. Yet everyone, including her mother and Zhang Ming, called her Meina. Confused, she wondered, I am Mei Yin. Why is everyone calling me Meina? If I am here, then who is that woman who looks exactly like me? Their mother was devastated to witness her twin daughters switched identities. She realized Meina had stolen her sister's life through plastic surgery. Once Mei Yin's memory returned, the sisters became mortal enemies. Mei Yin vowed to take revenge and make her sister suffer twice the pain she endured. Their heated arguments were overheard by their mother, who was crushed by the truth but chose not to expose it. She felt torn. Both daughters were hers, and if the truth came out, both might be destroyed. Haunted by guilt, she remembered a painful past. She had only given birth to one daughter. On the same day her husband died in an accident. When she returned home she found another infant, her husband's illegitimate child from another woman who had died in childbirth. Heartbroken by her husband's betrayal, she initially refused to raise the child, but her compassion won out when she heard the baby's cries. From then on, Mayyin and Mena grew up as half-sisters. Because Mayyin was her biological daughter, she received more affection, while Mena grew up feeling neglected and resentful. Over time, jealousy consumed Mena, who eventually seized the chance to steal her sister's identity and reclaim the love she believed was stolen from her. Their mother, blaming herself, decided to cover up the truth, believing that since things had already gone wrong they should continue living this way. But secrets never last forever. Jiang Ming gradually realized that his wife was not the same woman he once loved. Suspicious, he investigated and discovered a surveillance video from the car accident. It clearly showed Mena driving while wearing Mayyin's red dress and Mayyin and Mena's clothes in the passenger seat. After the crash, their identities had been mistaken based on their clothing. With this evidence, Jiang Ming finally confirmed the truth. His wife was actually Mena. Shocked and devastated, Jiang Ming confronted his mother-in-law, who admitted the truth but tried to take all the blame herself. She begged him to accept reality and continue the marriage, but Jiang Ming refused. He locked himself in with Mena and demanded she admit the truth. At first she denied it but eventually confessed proudly, insisting they were already a married couple and could live happily. Her shamelessness stabbed at Jiang Ming's heart like knives. Still, Mena justified herself. "Why should my sister always have the good life? Don't I deserve happiness too?" She showed no remorse, but Jiang Ming could not accept living with someone he didn't love. He sought out Mayyin, declaring that appearance didn't matter, he only wanted the heart that loved him. Yet Mayyin, now resigned, told him it was impossible, he was her brother-in-law now. Tearfully she walked away. Meanwhile, Mena confronted her mother, blaming her favoritism. "Was it because I wasn't your real daughter? Is that why you never loved me?" Her mother revealed the shocking truth. Mena was, in fact, her biological daughter. But her strictness was not from lack of love, it was because she loved her too much. Hoping harshness would make her strong. Instead, it broke her. Mena, realizing too late that she was loved all along, suffered a complete mental collapse. She spent the rest of her life in a psychiatric hospital. Mayyin, though deeply wronged, chose forgiveness for her sister and decided to live under her sister's name, starting anew. In truth, the root of all this tragedy was not the mother or even Mena, it was their father's betrayal which brought another child into their family and set the stage for disaster. His actions, combined with their mother's misguided parenting, led to the heartbreaking downfall of both daughters. And so the story ends, the villains punished, the innocent scarred, and love forever lost.